Today's video topic is everything is scary until it's not. This is a video that I'm putting together that was actually inspired directly from a post with that caption that Gary Vaynerchuk, posted on his Instagram page because it is so true. So if you've ever experienced any of these or if you ever deal with fear, let's get after it. What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome to the Majestic Lifestyle Coaching Channel, a place where we discuss tips and tricks concerning character building, entrepreneurship, and social media. So if this is your first time coming to this channel, welcome. Do me a favor and consider hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell with that as well so you can become a part of this family. Let's get after today's topic. So I was chilling on Instagram, being a social media guy as I normally do, checking out different people's posts, and I saw this caption by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V as he's better known as, and it simply said, like the title says, everything is scary until it's not. And that made me think, dang it, if that is not hitting the nail on the head, I don't know what is. So I can think about a zillion scenarios in my life that I've actually gone through this and learn these various lessons. One of the biggest ones I could tell you is when I was a kid. So anyone that knows me knows I grew up in Jersey, on the streets of dirty Jersey. I hate using that word because you know what? Jersey has some really beautiful place. But anyway, that's not here nor there. Big ups to Jersey and my people in the Northeast. Love you all. But when I was in the middle of my senior year in New Jersey, my parents and I realized that I was going to go to school at a private college, private Adventist college in Massachusetts, and it would work better for me to go ahead before I actually graduated college to get the in-state residency so I can get the slightly better price. So in the midst of my senior high school year, we realized that I've got to move up to Massachusetts. Now here's the funny thing. Before moving, I had visited Massachusetts probably about a year or two before because we've had some cousins and relatives that had moved up there. And I always thought it was Boston. Being from Haiti, when you come to America, back then it was only Miami, New York, and Boston, right? Because those are the three main areas that a lot of Haitians migrated to. And I remember the first time I went to Massachusetts, I was like, Massachusetts, what is this? And I was like, oh shoot, this was my first time really leaving New Jersey and seeing a whole different world. So fast forward when it was right about 92-ish, right? Summer of 91. I'm sorry, the winter of 91. So it was about the winter of 91 that I left and went to school in Massachusetts. And man, I'm leaving my whole family. I was actually the first one to leave. I have 3 siblings, so my parents, and they're still together. My parents had 4 kids, so it's the 6 of us, and I was the first one to leave the house and go somewhere else. Now, mind you, I moved to Massachusetts and I actually went to live with my aunt and cousins. But man, I was gonna leave the house. That was gonna be the first time I didn't live with my family. Oh, man, that was scary. Now, on top of that, growing up in New Jersey, I went to a predominantly African-American school. It had a lot of African-Americans and a lot of Caribbeans, especially Haitian folks, my peoples, right? Now, anybody know me? I love all peoples, but this new place I was going to, it wasn't that. It was predominantly Caucasian. Most of the community, so around the school is a Massachusetts, this is in the Midwest or mid part of the state. A lot of that part of the area there's a lot of Caucasian people. Now, yes, there's a big Hispanic community, African, Haitian, but the school that I went to, the non-Caucasian community was probably about 10%, 15%. And when I got to the school, I literally knew every African-American or non-Caucasian person. And man, that was scary. It was a whole big school, new environment, new people, new rules, new everything, new place to get to. Like, as a matter of fact, in New Jersey, we used to walk to school. We used to just get up in the morning, put out bags, probably maybe 20, 30, I forget, 30-minute walk to school. We never took a bus. In Massachusetts, you have to wake up early, go sit on the side of the road, and wait for a bus to come get you. And man, I was like really nervous at first, and I didn't know how it was gonna be. But I got through it, and man, I made new friends, experienced new things, and that was the start of my journey of living and experiencing different people in different places. Because anybody that knows me, I've moved around several different places. I think I've talked about that in one of my past videos, and I realized people from different areas tend to think alike because you congregate in the same groups, you do the same thing. So everybody tends to do the same things for the most part in the same area. Of course, you have your individuals here and there that do something completely different. But Massachusetts was a different environment. As a matter of fact, the school that I went to, they had a bank inside of the school, inside of the high school. Man, growing up in Jersey, a bank? For whom? And this is not even for the teachers. This is for everybody. The students, they would give us these, back then you had a little book to keep track of everything. I remember signing up and I'm like, man, I have a bank account. That was mind-blowing. And that was the start of my path of getting outside of my comfort zone. One thing, if you know anything about me, I have a fear of failure, and I've always had a fear of the unknown. And as I've gone through life, I graduated from that school. I went to school, went to college. I never finished it, about 2.5 years of college. Started working on my own, got my first apartment, did all these things, got my first cars. And before doing anything, everything was, and I'll admit this happens to today, up to now. Before trying something out, there's a lot of trepidation because you're like, oh man, you don't know how it's gonna work out. You don't know what's gonna happen. Is it gonna blow up? Is it gonna financially bankrupt you? But I'll tell you, the funny thing about life is every time I've tried something new and every time I took a chance, some things worked out, some things didn't. If you know my story, I do photography. I'm a commercial photographer. And this is my experience as an entrepreneur because I'm not doing that full time yet. I'm still a budding entrepreneur. But I've learned a lot of lessons on my path of being a full-time photographer because I started back in 2009. And every time I would try something new, when I would actually get out there and jump, sometimes it took a lot longer than other times to actually jump. But after doing it, you realize, wait a second. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I did not die. And every time I did this, the amount of time that it takes me to actually jump becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. And it gets to the point where I'm just like, cool, let's go. Poop, let's go. Like this, for instance, remember in my previous videos, I talked about in 2017, I actually started the original channel. It was called the Majestic Lifestyle channel. And that was, oh man, getting on YouTube. Like this is something no one in my family has done. And I was like, because my family's full of people that are doctors, nurses, a lot of pastors, things like that, psychiatrists. So this was social media? What? This was an uncharted territory. So I did it. I only did about 3 videos, but I took a break from that, a whole 3-year hiatus. But this year I came back. And man, I tell you, it's tough because even there's some days where you feel like I don't have a great topic to share, but it's all worth it. And the biggest lesson is simply this that I've learned. When you jump and when you do something from the outside, because you don't know what's gonna happen, you're thinking all the negative thoughts in your head. What could go wrong? What can happen? What if I don't land on my feet? Everything seems scary on the outside. But once you actually step in or step out of your comfort zone, step out of your scenario, move to a whole nother state, move to a whole nother country, start your business, whatever it is that you're going through, once you actually do it, you realize, wait a second, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. And even this, like taking a whole camera setup and setting outside. I talked about this in previous videos where people see you, people could be looking at you, especially in the last video I talked about that, right? Letting people be in your head rent free. It's scary. It's not comfortable to be outside filming on a camera. People could be like, what is he doing, right? But once you do it, you realize, it's not that bad. So if you take this scenario, for example, and I talked about this in the last video, every time I start a video, at first, I'm doing like a bunch of takes because I don't like it. So I start over, I start again and again and again and again. But once I get into the rhythm, it's just like you start swimming. It's like riding a bike. It's real comfortable. Or for example, the very first time I started posting, it was a lot more uncomfortable. But the more I do it, the more and more I post, the more and more I shoot, it becomes a lot more easier. So folks, and today, take this lesson at heart. Just do it. Try something new. Get uncomfortable, because everything is scary until you do it. And once you're actually out there, you realize it's not that bad. Now, there may be some things that you realize, it's not for me, and that's okay, but you've done it. And the more and more you do it, the more and more you jump, the more and more you get outside of your comfort zone, you realize, it's not that bad. And some things you actually enjoy, love, and it becomes part of you. All right, folks? So, hey, I hope you take something from this video and you realize you gotta get uncomfortable. You gotta do things that are scary. And once you try it, you'll be much better off and you'll be much stronger. So if you enjoy this video and you got something from this, please do me a favor, hit the like button. That helps YouTube boost the video a lot more so that more people can see it. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you can become a part of this family. And stay tuned because we do post every Monday and Wednesday. So stay tuned for the next video, all right? So until next time, folks, do me a favor, live your best life. Live that majestic lifestyle.